Welcome to this Killik Explains Finance video. This week, the difference between financial guidance and advice. This is not just semantics, not just playing with words. The regulator, the FCA, wants everyone to understand that there is a key difference and how it might affect them. So, with no more ado, the difference isn't absolutely black and white, but it is pretty clear. So we're going to go through some guidelines on how to distinguish the two and then to decide which one might be right for you. Now, just to get us started, what is guidance? Guidance is meant to be basically informative but not personalised. So what I do, consumer education, fits squarely into that area. So it's about how stuff works, whether that be products or services. It's general decision criteria for different investment options. So how do you weigh up a pension versus a lifetime ISA versus a standard ISA, for example? And it's about giving examples and case studies. However, it is not advice. Advice, on the other hand, is tailored, is usually much more specific, and as a result, is normally costlier. You will be charged for it, but then I guess you'd expect to be. So, recommendations based on your personal profile, assets, and experience, and so on. A selection of products and tax-effective savings wrappers. We're not just talking broadly about all the options available, we're there selecting one, let's say. And finally, structuring portfolios, investment strategies to meet specific lifetime objectives, meet milestones, private education costs, and so on. That is advice. Now, you might be thinking, well, that sounds better, but actually, there are situations in which guidance is enough, no need to pay for advice, and there are situations where, frankly, guidance isn't enough, and it is a good idea to pay for advice. So, good example, Killik Academy, the sort of stuff that I do on a regular basis. So if you come into my seminars, this makes the distinction quite nicely. You come into the music room, let's say in Mayfair, there's a big screen at the front. There's me standing there talking. There's hopefully an audience. And then at the back, you've got some investment managers sitting by themselves at the back of the room. And actually, this makes the distinction quite clear between guidance on the one hand and advice on the other, because my role is limited to explaining important saving and investing concepts. And I should be able to explain that whether I'm standing in our building or somewhere else. It's impartial, basically. I'm highlighting the way different products work, but I'm certainly not recommending any of those products on an individual basis. And I'm showing how different options can be weighed up. So how do you choose between different retirement options when it comes to, say, building a retirement fund, generating income in retirement, and so on. If, on the other hand, you want to take it further, well, fine, there are people you can talk to. So tailoring a solution to your goals and risk appetite, that's an investment manager role. Helping you to pick specific products and investments, that's their role too. And executing a tax-effective strategy on your behalf. All of those things and a lot of other things besides fall into the role of investment manager, because that is where you cross the line from guidance to advice. So, a few things to think about in summary. If you are trying to weigh up the two, which one is right for me, what's the difference? Here are some things to think about. First of all, guidance is normally free, advice normally isn't, for the reasons that hopefully become clear so far. Both should be impartial. That's really important. You should have your best interests, suitability and so on in mind. Minimum qualifications, no actually, for guidance, but yes, definitely for advice. That's the person advising you, the firm advising you. Is guidance covered by the FCSCS, that's the Financial Services Compensation Scheme? Well, no, because guidance shouldn't allow you to go far enough to make a mistake, if you like. It's going to cost you money. Otherwise, you've probably stepped over the line and been given advice instead. Whereas advice, on the other hand, yes, FCA regulated and covered by the compensation scheme. Finally, guidance, this is crucial, isn't personalised and tailored to you, whereas advice normally will be. Hence the reason advice usually comes at a cost. Now, an advisor checklist. Let's say you decide you need advice. Couple of things to watch out for here. First of all, any advisor that you choose to use should have appropriate experience, should have qualifications and training, and be FCA approved. And you can go to their website, the FCA that is, and check that. There is a register. Then you'll need to weigh up the difference between independent or restricted. Not as big as it perhaps sounds in the first instance, but some advisors are one, some are the other. Can they consider all retail products and markets? Can they offer products from any provider? And make sure they've explained advice and they're not product incentivized. Now, that shouldn't be the case anymore anyway, but that's quite important in both cases. So, you need to weigh up the quality of the advisor, if you like, and the type of advice they're able to offer. Now, in terms of which one do I go for then? Just a reminder, guidance will tend to suit people who are starting out, perhaps with relatively small sums. Now, there's no absolute number on the relatively small sums. It might actually be a really important sum to you, but relatively small sums to invest, starting out, guidance might be enough. Anyone trying to gather market knowledge, again, guidance should probably be enough. Turn up at a seminar, get some ideas, but nothing tailored and specific to you. Anyone doing general product research, with or without investing experience, that's guidance. Advice, on the other hand, because there are situations where this won't be enough, advice tends to suit those people who want a personal recommendation. It's not enough to understand the difference between products, see some case studies. You want it tailored specifically to you, your goals and experiences and so on. Someone trying to choose between different products and struggling, and somebody who's potentially quite experienced but wants a second opinion. So perhaps they've got some of the way. They think, I'm pretty sure I know what to do, but I'd like to bounce this off somebody else and then make a decision. That's where advice can be very useful, and not the only 3 situations to boot. Quite a lot of ground covered there. editor@killik.com with any questions. If you want to see related videos, please go to our extensive library, killik.com/learn.